Dear friends, English literature, Introduction to Drama, Riders to the Sea by John Millington Synge. Short questions with answers. Short questions 1 to 11. Question 1. What is a one-act play? Answer. A one-act play is a dramatic work consisting of one act. A one-act play is generally limited in the number of characters as well as changes of scene. In a one-act play, a single incident is presented without any complicating subplots. It is a general rule that a one-act play has only one or two characters. The normal playing time of one-act play is from 15 to 40 minutes. The climax of such play usually occurs in the closing moments of the play. Thus, it is a short play of one act, which concentrates only on one theme and practices economy in style, setting, and plotting. The writing of such plays has received impetus in Europe and the United States by the Turtle Theatre movement, which aims at producing experimental, non-commercial plays. Question 2. What characteristics of one-act play are found in Riders to the Sea? Answer. The characteristics of a one-act play as found in Riders to the Sea are given below. Number 1. Riders to the Sea has only one act. Number 2. It deals with a slice of life instead of an entire life. Number 3. Though short, it has the beginning, the middle, and end-to-end exposition and complication, climax, and denouement. Number 4. It has few characters. Number 5. There is economy in the use of words in a play. Number 6. Though short, it arouses the catharsis of pity and fear in us. Number 7. Though brief, it has observed the unities of time, place, and action. Number 8. There is no subplots in the play. Question 3. What is exposition? Answer. Exposition is the beginning part of a play which reveals to the audience the necessary information about the characters, the events which are to come, and information about what has already happened, which are needed for understanding the plot. Exposition provides the tone, gives the setting, introduces characters, and supplies other facts relevant to the play. The purpose of exposition is to explain the nature of an object, idea, or a theme. Question 4. Comment on the exposition of Riders to the Sea. Answer. The exposition of Riders to the Sea has 3 parts. Number 1. The conversation between Kathleen and Nora depicts the situation in which we are told of Michael's death, the clothes of a dead man given to Nora by the young priest, and Bertley's proposed visit to the Galloway Fair. Number 2. Maria comes in bitter mood and speaks of her superstitious dread about Bertley's departure for the fair crossing the sea. Number 3. Bertley arrives and leaves for the fair, ignoring his mother's entreaties. The exposition of the play gives the setting in an island off the west of Ireland, introduces almost all the characters of the play, gives the tone as an elegiac one. But the exposition partly presents the information about what has already happened. It presents the background information about Michael's death, but the information about deaths of Maria's 4 sons, her husband, and her father-in-law has not been presented in the exposition of the play. Question 5. What is complication? Answer. Complication is an untangling of affairs early in the development of the plot of a play that must be untied in the resolution at the end. It changes the main thread of the plot. Complication ties the knot tighter by introducing further obstacles in the path of the protagonist by bringing in further misunderstanding and raising further problems. Complication usually occurs in the middle part of a play. Question 6. Comment on the complication of Riders to the Sea. Answer. In Riders to the Sea, complication consists of Bartley's insistence on his going to the Galloway Fair, ignoring his mother's entreaties. We come to know from the conversation of Nora and Kathleen that Michael has been drowned and his dead body is not yet recovered. In this situation, it is not wise to let the last surviving man, Bartley, go to the Galloway Fair. So Maria at first argues with him in order to postpone the journey in this rough sea and inclement weather. She says that if Michael's dead body is west of the shore and if there is no man to make the coffin, the neighbors would blame her for allowing Bartley to go. Bartley refutes the argument by saying that there is no hope of Michael's dead body being washed up after 9 days. Maria then speaks of her superstitious dread about the ominous sign of the moon rising with the star, which portends a storm and Bartley's doom. Finally, she entreats him by saying that the peace of a son to her is more than the price of 1,000 horses. But in spite of all her entreaties, Bartley decides firmly to go to the Galloway Fair, which constitutes the complication of the play. Question 7. What is climax? Answer. Climax is the point of great intensity in a literary work. It is the point at which the fortune of the protagonist reaches its highest peak before the turning point which initiates the following action. It is the culminating moment of the action at which the complication is resolved. In a literary work, the major climax may be preceded by several climaxes of lesser intensity. Question 8. Comment on the climax of Riders to the Sea. Answer. In Riders to the Sea, the situation becomes tense through Bartley's insistence on his going to the fair in the mainland. His mother Maria tries her best to prevent him from going by arguments and appeals. She has been silenced and has gloomy forebodings, but Bartley must go. She cannot bless him. Kathleen forgets to give him the bread baked for him. Maria cries out that she will not see him again. All this prepares us for the climax. When Maria goes to the spring well, she has seen a vision of Michael's ghost rising on the grey pony, pursuing Bartley on the red mare, which portends the death of Bartley. This is the climax of lesser intensity at which the death of Bartley is foreshadowed. But the climax of the highest intensity is the death of Bartley, which resolves the complication by completing the tragedy of Maria's life. Question 9. What is denouement? Answer. Denouement is the final unknotting of the conflicts and complications of the plot of a play. The events following the major climax are denouement. It is the point at which the reader's expectation about what will happen to the characters are finally satisfied. Thus, denouement implies an ingenious untying of the knot of a plot connected with the plot complication. Question 10. What constitutes the denouement of Riders to the Sea? Answer. Riders to the Sea contains sufficient denouement. It begins with the carrying of the dead body of Bartley on a plank by some men. They place the dead body on a table in the room. The neighboring women come and begin to keen over Bartley's dead body. The men kneel near the door. Maria kneels at the head of the table, and Kathleen and Nora kneel at the other end. Maria attains calm resignation. She says that the sea can do her no further harm, as all her menfolk have already been devoured by the sea. She will now enjoy the sweet sleep in the dark winter nights after Samhain. She sprinkles holy water on Bartley's dead body and Michael's clothes and invokes the blessings of God on the souls of the dead and the living. She accepts the inevitable fact of death, that no man can be living forever. Question 11. What is conflict? What are the types of conflict? Answer. Conflict is the struggle between opposing forces that determines the action in drama or fiction. It is the essence of drama. It provides the elements of interest and suspense in a drama. Conflicts are of two types, internal and external. Internal conflict occurs within one character. The main character struggles against himself or herself. In an external conflict, the main character is in conflict with an outside force. The external conflict may occur, number one, between the protagonist and the forces of nature, number two, between two characters, and number three, between a character and society. Thank you, friends, for watching my video.